Hey guys, Discourse here, and just filming another unboxing for you today. So as you can see, a number of packages have arrived from Top Hatted Hamster. Actually, I've ordered these from a retailer, and you can actually find their link in the description below. But I've ordered the Riddler Batbox, as well as the newest Jim Carrey style Riddler, as well as a wee sort of box with a few thugs here with a new 3rd edition style thugs. As well as that, I've got Catwoman too. So I figured I would just film this unboxing as I go through this. So I think I'll leave the actual big box, the Batbox from the 2nd edition, till last. And I'll leave the Riddlers to the one side. I think I'll unbox Catwoman first because I'm kind of curious about Catwoman. I know that she does have these cat suspect markers. So I'm sort of curious to see how they will come out. Okay, so here we have our card, first of all. So she is 72 reputation, 6 willpower, 6 endurance, which is kind of fine, but 4 and 5, so 4 attack, 5 defense, that's pretty good. And climbing claws, that's pretty sweet. So she's pretty good. She has quite a lot of traits, you can see them there. She is pretty strong in terms of suspect markers, and she's very much been designed for 3rd edition. Here is her character card, which is a 3-coster. It's pretty good. Reveal an enemy suspect marker within 5 inches of 2 friendly cat markers. And cat markers are sort of the mechanic that she has. She basically can place down suspect markers and designate them as cat markers. So here we go. Here's her main body here. So she's very thin. Not a lot of errors with it there, no like little spiky off bits. She's got a little cat at her foot, actually, I've never noticed that before. And here is a bag of loot with a cat on it. There you go, you can see that there. So it's a little bit decoration. And then we have the sprue with her head and with her feet and a hand and a whip, of course. I think the whip is actually melded on as a tail as well for her. And then, so here is what I mean. So this is the base for her. This is where she'll go on top. But she comes with these little sort of cat suspect markers. Let me just pull these out here. So these are unique to her. She basically makes some manipulate actions, and then so you can see they're the size of a suspect marker. Let me just pull over a suspect marker here. So they are equivalent there. But you basically, and you can pop those on there. So they are 3D. Looks like there's a little bit of flash, so they'll need to get a little bit of cleanup. That's no problem. It's kind of it's like a group of cats all kind of moving amongst one another as the suspect markers. And basically how those markers work is that she can interact with them in certain ways. So if she gets killed, she can actually teleport back, I believe. She can teleport back to where they were and remove it. She can also use those to move too, so she basically can teleport around them. So she's pretty cool, very interesting Catwoman model, very different from the other Catwoman models that we've had so far. She seems really strong, honestly, and I'm interested in seeing how she works in a Batman list, because obviously Batman likes to play around with suspect markers quite a lot, but remains to be seen whether or not there's space in such a list. I think she can be taken at Batman, right? Yeah, so the only rival I think is, it's Joker. So the only rival is Joker. So that is Catwoman. Now for the Riddler. So I did want to buy the Riddler because he is a very interesting crew, especially now that his deck is on its way out. So how to do this? I think I'll first of all try the 3 random goons. Here. So we'll just get the smaller sort of packages out of the way. And actually one of these, Irish, is actually in this 2nd edition box as well. So that's the guy on the moped, but you'll see him now. So they've kind of rejigged him. So yep, that's Quiz 8, Finn O'Farrell. He has always on the move, which is great, right? The ability to attack and then move. So he's pretty good, 28 reputation. There we go, just hold him up for the camera there. Then we have Quiz 7 as well there. So he's a little bit weaker, but he's not too bad. He's got a combo with the bat, which is very nice, and handy and heavy is really good. And then we have Quiz 6, Charlie. This guy looks like if he was going to try and mug you in an alleyway, you'd walk away with his wallet. So that's my favorite thing about that guy. He doesn't look very intimidating at all. So here we go. We've got the sprue here. So this looks like it looks like Quiz 7, Alex and Charlie's bodies here. You can see the base and just a little bit of sort of flash, but not a lot. And then we have, of course, Irish with his massive body. So he basically is the same size as those two guys together. His massive body, ridiculous hands as well. Look at the size of those hands. It's bigger than a wheel. So then we've got the little scooter there too. And then we have the last sprue here, which is just the little stick. These are the legs of Charlie, the last leg, and then there's the wee. You can see the face. There is a lot of detail, you know. The night model models are just excellently sculpted. You see the mutton chops on this guy. So that's the 3 random sort of Riddler goons. Now Riddler plays, he's a very interesting faction, right? He's got a lot going on. He's a very hard faction, I think, to play. Just because he sort of expects a lot of the player. There's a lot of tricksy maneuvers that he can do, but ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, you can be tricksy all you want, but it can be really hard to score sometimes. So here we have the Riddler. This is the Jim Carrey Riddler. This is new for the 3rd edition. This came out in February there. And there is another version of the Riddler in this Batbox. But this version of the Riddler, you can see here, he's on his throne from Batman Forever. And yeah, so he's kind of interesting, right? So one of the reasons why Irish is in both the Batbox and in that smaller pack you've just seen me there. The smaller pack, obviously, he has the sort of moped. And the reason for that is because in the Batbox, Irish has Bodyguard. However, this version of the Riddler has Intel support. And Intel support means that you lose health whenever your suspect markers are moved. So no need for a Bodyguard, right? So they have sort of repurposed that model with the new pack so that he can go in a crew led by Jim Carrey and still be sort of relevant, even without Bodyguard. So let's open up the case here. Here we go. This is the character card. This is Edward Nigma. So 80 reputation. Informatic assault. This is surprisingly good, by the way, just FYI. You'll find yourself just sometimes wanting to just attack an enemy just to get the steal effect off, because that is superb. Being able to see your opponent's hand of cards and then discard one on them can sometimes really throw them for a loop. So he has a challenge for you, which is sort of the standard thing. Riddler plays really, really weird. So whenever he places a suspect marker down, this goes for both this version of the Riddler and also the 2nd edition sort of comic book or animated series style of the Riddler. You place down a number counter beside every single suspect marker that you place down. And what that means is that you basically assign those numbers to every single number counter, and then your cards kind of interact with those. You know, you have to kind of challenge your opponent. So it looks like this is, I think these are little gargoyles, actually. Yeah, these are the little like thinking men for the armrests of the chair. Let's see what the actual body is. So I've heard some horror stories about this model, just that it's pretty hard to put together. Let's see. So I think this is the main body, and then this is sort of, I think these are just little decorative parts here, like a little riddle box and a cane as well. Okay, and then we have here a lot of limbs, a lot of limbs. So let's see. So there we go. There's the Riddler's head on the very right there, and then a couple of arms. Oh man, I'm gonna. Are these? I don't think these are alternate poses for the Riddler, are they? I think some of these must be for the little thinkers. Let me just see. Yeah, they're going to be for the little thinkers, because you can see here that these are, if you look at the sort of image there for the Riddler, these guys here on the side of the chair. So a lot of limbs for those guys too. And let's see here. Oh, okay. So this is the kind of main base. It looks like this little bit doohickey here kind of goes off on top of it. And it looks like all these little riddle question marks are actually built into the base. I didn't realize that. I thought they were separate. I thought those were just sort of, you could kind of choose to have those on or not. Okay, cool. So that's the grill, which is very Batman Forever. I remember that scene very well. And then I think this portion here, I think this is the chair. Okay. So it's specifically, I think I've heard of people sort of gluing this on the wrong way around. So I have to be really, really careful as to whether or not I've glued it on the left, like on the back or on the front. But I think this sort of slots in quite easily this way, so I think that's the way. And this little chair. So obviously this is the Riddler sort of hanging about in his little chair, sort of not deigning to enter the battlefield, instead allowing his goons to do the work for him. So yeah, I've always been a big fan of the Riddler, you know, ever since the animated series. Voiced by, of course, Lionel Luthor from Smallville, Don Glover, in the animated series, who did a brilliant job. I think gets overlooked a little bit sometimes. So this is good. This version of the Riddler, so I have played the Riddler before. I've played the Riddler a few times, and I have played with this version. I've never actually played with the second edition version, so I think once I get these all painted, and once I get the deck from the new objective card set, I probably will try out the sort of classic version of the Riddler. So let's open up this packet now. So still got the plastic wrapping on it. Ah, Niels. Oh, bumped into the camera there. Apologies for that. Okay, so this is the Riddler. I don't think I can get the entire box in frame, but you can see here, this is how they'll look whenever they're all painted. Although this is not how they'll look whenever I've painted them. They will look a lot worse whenever I've painted them. So this is the second edition box. And because I bought this from a retailer, I'm not sure how long this has probably been sitting on a shelf. So hopefully there's no missing parts, but luckily there doesn't seem to have been any missing parts so far, which is always good. So let's open this up. Oh dear. Hey, okay, so this is actually, oops. Oh, there's a bit of a Riddler there. So this is a Batbox. Oh my goodness. So the Batboxes were released in second edition, and they were sort of designed to be like entirely, they're 350 reputation, just in the entire box. And I think they were sort of designed to be sort of introductions to the game. You know, if you wanted to play the Riddler, you just buy this box and you got everything you need. So thus the instructions, which you'll find a lot of the packs, like the third edition packs that I just opened, they didn't come with any instructions, but these do, right? I mean, usually the models are pretty easy to put together anyway. So it also comes with a now defunct scenario, because this is for second edition, which is no problem. So we're gonna have second edition cards here as well, I imagine. So let's see. And it looks like I have been granted 2 assembly instruction cards. Okay, so double the fun. Right, no problem at all. So there's a lot of stuff all over the place here. So let's sort of sort this out. Right, so we've got a bunch of upgrades here. Inspiration. These are sort of gonna be, I mean, these upgrades are still relevant. You can still upgrade your models with these upgrades, but the actual effect of them has changed in third edition for a lot of them. So let's see here. Gather all the cards up first. So quite a lot of plastic in this box here. Right, so we have things like a gas mask, you know, another one, which is the drop a riddle trait, which allows you to place down riddle markers. Riddle markers are a huge component of the Riddler. Essentially, whenever you make a manipulate action, if you're playing against the Riddler, whenever you make a manipulate action within 8 inches of a riddle marker, the Riddler, you have to then remove one of Riddler's suspect markers, which plays into his cards. He wants you to be removing his suspect markers because he wants you to be playing his game. He wants you to be answering his riddles. So let's see what cards we've got here. We've got Echo. Obviously these are second edition, so they're not going to really make as much sense to you if you've just joined in third edition, but all of the stats are still the same. So you see willpower here, strength here. The attack, defense, special endurance are all the same. Movement is just ×2 + 4. So movement 2 here, we see Alexander, i.e. quiz 1. He has movement of 2, so multiply by 2, that's 4. Plus 4 is 8, so he can move 8 inches. So Alexander, obviously pretty high reputation, I think, for having 2 SMGs. Here is Riddler. You can see here that he's got 80 reputation, just like the Jim Carrey version of Riddler. So you can basically interchange these guys, although obviously you might not want to have the bodyguard on Irish. So here is Igor, Quiz 2, okay. Whoa, so they're all upside down. This is Query. She's pretty good. She's got an LMG, which is explosive and rate of fire 2. So she can fire off her explosive template twice, which is really nice, and she doesn't have anger management, so she beats out on that Jared Leto goat-headed priest. Here we have Quell as well. She's the sidekick. I think she's relatively obscure. And here's Irish. This is the version of him with Bodyguard. He has Electric Storm, which is really nice, but unfortunately he doesn't have a little moped. He's just on his feet. Here we have Riddleman as well. Riddleman's just basically, he's one of your sort of tech pieces that you want to have run around, placed into suspect markers, because that really does play into the Riddler. And here's John Carrey, Quiz 3, Reputation 20. Just a body on the board really to get inspired, put down suspect markers, and then hopefully die. You really, with the Riddler, you're really focused on the suspect marker play. You're not going to be able to put up much of a fight against your opponent whenever they really focus you down. So everything's essentially just a distraction. So here is the body of the custom SMG guy. This is the guy who costs 30. So this is the 2nd edition plastic. This is the older mold, so it's a little bit more brittle, though it is prone to less sort of flashing. There's a little bit of error there, but that's no problem at all. We'll be able to snip those off. Here we have the Riddler. He's surprisingly, he is a bit of a different color from all the others, if you can see it there. He has a little bit of a sort of like an overhang on his hat there, but I think I'll be able to clip that away. So yeah, this is him in the sort of classic suit version, the animated series style or the comic style. Here's one of the Riddle markers there. So they look pretty cool. They remind me of the Riddle markers that you get in Arkham sort of Asylum and Arkham City, and of course Arkham Knight. So let's just get those out here. There we go. So that's all 3 of those. And then we have some limbs. It looks like here, this looks like, I think it might be Quell, although I'm not 100% certain. It could be Query. Okay. Oh, that's actually just a full body. I'm sort of a fan of these so that I can just get straight to painting them, because I've got a lot of stuff to paint. And then here is Riddleman missing a head. So maybe it was Riddleman earlier actually that I was looking at. I'll have to sort of go back and go over all of these. And then here is Irish in the older style plastic, the version of him that isn't on a moped. You can see he is very big, ridiculously big. I mean, it really feels like he's gotten into the Venom or something here. And then here is, it looks like Riddler's arm. You can see he's got the cane on the right hand side, and then there's just a wee head and a wee arm there. And then this is the remainder of Irish. You can see the legs. It looks like there's a little bit of flashing, but no problem at all. It's not a big deal. And then we have, this is, well, one of the quizzes, the one with the sickles. He's got combo, and he's pretty cheap as well, but he's also got a defense too, which is really crippling. No, this is Query, right? This is the one with the LMG, yeah. So she's all one piece as well. I love her hat. That's pretty badass. Okay, and then finally we have, oh no, sorry, this is the guy with the sickles, I think. Oh, it's hard to tell. They're all wearing the same lycra. They're all wearing the same lycra blue, green suits. Okay, and here is a teeny tiny head, which I'm gonna try and not lose. So I'm just gonna pop it back in the case, and looks like we've got another arm there. I think that this is actually from Quell. Yeah, so, actually, where is Quell's body? Here, I don't see it. I think this is it here. Yep, so that's Quell's body there, with her purple tights and green dress. So yeah, I'm actually gonna pop these in here because I'll probably be putting those in baggies before I put them together. Yeah, so there you go. That's the Riddler unboxed, as well as the new Catwoman as well. I'm really looking forward to getting them on the table. I think that the new versions of the thugs, I think they're a little bit stronger than the second edition versions, you know. It doesn't really feel like power creep. It feels more like they're just designed better for third edition. So I'm really looking forward to getting these guys all painted up and onto the table, especially once I get the objective card set. So thanks a lot for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this, just a little relaxing unboxing for you today. And I hope you do join me for the next video. Bye-bye!